Hey, what's going on, guys? This is the Indy Kid. I'm coming at you with the day after Tennessee versus Kentucky edition. Indy Kid got to get away for the weekend at a nice little marsh place down here in Beaufort, South Carolina. If you ever get a chance to check it out, it's an awesome little town. But I'm gonna take a few minutes to kind of dampen the mood here, I reckon, as we're going to talk a little bit about the Tennessee-Kentucky game from yesterday. But before we get into that, just remember, Talkin VAWLS, Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And make sure you tune in after the games each Saturday, as the guys will do a post-wrap chat. And, you know, they've had to carry a couple of somber moods the last couple of weeks and have done a great job of it. And, you know, it's just Tennessee football. What we've become accustomed to at this point. But make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. And but let's get into it. You know, I'm not going to talk a whole lot about the game. Ugly game, 34-7 Kentucky. I thought Kentucky would give Tennessee some trouble this week, but we're used to beating Kentucky, and I expected it again. But I expected it would be close. But no, we were wrong on all fronts, and a lot of it was self-inflicted. And here we are, Groundhog Day Part 4, it feels like. And we've been going over this for 4 years now. And I don't know when the end in sight is for it. What do you say at this point? When you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results, it's called insanity. And that's where we're at with Tennessee football right now. And how do we know? You know, I know they're saying in practice Jarrett Garantano is your best quarterback, so to speak. But the lights don't come on come game time. They're just not there. And I know you had to force him back in last year or some after you had pulled him. And I know COVID has affected things this year, which is now a joke after players are having to quarantine for weeks, yet Nick Saban tests positive on like Monday or Tuesday and he's coaching on Saturday. That's a joke. It's all for nothing now, and not a single player nor a single coach should have to quarantine again at this point. Just get your 3 days, your 3 negative tests, and you're good. And the NCAA, the SEC set the standard with this. But anyhow, that's something for another point in time. But well, what do you say? I mean, what do you say? It's the same stuff. It's over and over and over again. And I agree with Boogie. When Tennessee takes field against Alabama this week, I fully expect number 2 is going to take the field. And there is part of me that understands it too. You saw Alabama, was down 24-17 last night, and they come out and just hammered Georgia the second half. You got to think Tennessee's going to have a really hard time this week doing anything against Alabama. Maybe you start JG and maybe he's the sacrificial lamb. I don't know. I hate to use that, but or do you go ahead and start the Harrison Bailey era? It has to start at this point. It has to start. We can't keep, because I'm afraid if you keep playing the same guy, any momentum you've had is going to be gone, and recruits are going to start. I mean, we haven't really seen a lot of recruits jumping ship yet. If they see a coaching staff that's hesitant to make a change or is content losing or something, maybe they see other staffs that aren't the same. And I don't get it. I just don't get why Jeremy Pruitt's continuing to stick with the same guy. And I'll say this too, Jim Chaney is doing nothing to help out. Nothing to help out. And we've seen it in the past with offensive lines that had trouble blocking for, I can remember Matt Sims, for Justin Worley. Quarterback change, all of a sudden these lines weren't quite as bad when the quarterback change was made. And we even saw it a couple years ago when Keller Chris come in. Garantano was just getting hit left and right. But then he got hurt, Keller Chris comes in. All of a sudden you're not having the same issues. And while this staff continues to stick with the same guy over and over and over, and you're getting no results. You can sit here and say, well, he gives us the best chance to win. Oh, you want to. But the bottom line, he doesn't. And if he does, then there's some people on your staff, and you included, that are not doing your job. And I think it's time for some coaches in Knoxville to start earning some money. Jim, we'll see what Jim Chaney can do with a quarterback that doesn't crap his pants every time something happens. But Chris Winkie, it's time to start earning your money. And I had thought last year he was starting to earn it, because it seemed like quarterbacks were making some progress. But, you know, and maybe it's where they haven't practiced a lot and stuff. But here's what I do know. Practice or not, Jarrett Garantano is a fifth-year senior. And he is no better in his fifth year than he was in his fourth year. I don't know what the first year was, because he redshirted and we didn't see him. We did see him in his second year there, which was his redshirt freshman year. And he is not any better now than he was then. And he's even making one thing for him he's not always made at all time. I don't know. No, I'm wrong on that. He's made the catastrophic errors numerous times. Not back-to-back possessions and stuff, but we know what we got with him at this point, and it's not much. And you know, he'll sometimes surprise us, have a good throw, a good performance or something. But maybe you start him this week, take his lumps, they get down big, and then you turn the reins over to Harrison Bailey. He finishes the game. They've got a bye week, and then it's his team going forward. And I don't think Shrout is. I know he's been the backup, and I've thought that the whole time. And we only saw him one possession. It really bothers me that they'll allow Garantano all this room for error. He's got a leash from here to the marsh out here, yet, you know, a guy like Shrout, he's got one rung of leash. And that bothers me, and that seemed to be the case some with these younger quarterbacks. They have no leash, while Garantano's is, you know, very, very long. But, you know, it is what it is going forward. But, and Vols JP made a statement yesterday, and this is the most true statement, and I so agree with this, where it's mentioned, well, if Harrison Bailey comes in, Alabama shatters his confidence. If Harrison Bailey comes in and plays against Alabama and his confidence gets shattered to the point where he's done with, he's not our future quarterback anyway, and it's time to start putting your eggs in the Caden Salter basket, or looking JUCO, not JUCO, or grad transfer. That's where we're at this point. If Harrison Bailey taking a knock or two against Bama ruins his confidence, finishes him off, or where he wasn't the future to begin with, and there's been a lot of false hope there. But you know, I think Cody Branch, you mentioned it last week, and you're exactly right. Those scrimmages are probably put together for Harrison Bailey. I don't know, Cody, and I know I misquoted you, so I apologize if I took it out of context, but I know that's what you're alluding to, and that's exactly right. And Harrison Bailey, even Brian Maurer, it was reported yesterday, Brian Maurer was transferring. Brian Maurer said it was false. So we'll see, but I think there's going to be more scrimmages, and I think a Jeremy Pruitt team always starts off slow, and they finish stronger last year. I fully expect that'll be the case. Now, outside of really Vanderbilt, you're only circled as, I think they'll definitely win. Besides that, they're going to have to show up, and it's time. It's time for a new era down there. Everybody's tired of it. Stop giving us the excuses that this gives us the best chance to win, because you're obviously not trying if that's the case. And you've got to try something new. You've been going through this for 4 years with this quarterback. Pruitt's only been going for it for 3, but it was happening. That's why he got there, is because this was happening the year before he got there. So, I think it's an offense with a lot of potential. It just needs a general to run it. I think you get a quarterback in that knows what he's doing, can do it. I think you'll see a better line. I think you'll see better receiver play, better tight end, better running. Running backs were good yesterday. The line seemed to do its job blocking. Maybe not so much on pass protection, but, it's been happening no matter what the line is out there. I think you could put an NFL line out there, and you'd see the same thing, just because, same quarterback brings that. But talk about the defense a little bit. I think defense, they're wearing out, but this defense has got a lot of holes, and we knew coming in that Daniel Batuli, Nigel Warrior, and Darrell Taylor were going to be really hard to replace. And it's showing. It's showing big time, and especially Batuli. What a loss. What a loss. And we saw it last year, the games he was out, how vital that was. And now Henry To'oTo'o is doing a good job. Hell of a linebacker. The other guys are struggling. And I think it's the thing with them, though, where I give it, they are young. They are younger guys. You expect a younger guy to struggle. You don't expect a fifth-year guy to be making those mistakes. So if you're a fourth or fifth-year guy out here still struggling, still looking like a freshman, it's time to get some of this young talent that's come in the opportunities, put them in, let them go. But there's a lot of hole, and honestly, coming into this year, I mean, based on what we lost, we did return a lot, but still, those questions at quarterback and the losses that happened on defense were big, and they were big, and it's still a work in progress. And Jeremy Pruitt's by no means on a hot seat. No, by no means. Jeremy Pruitt does need to look at what he can do better, and it starts with quarterback. And it's just time for some guys to earn their money in Knoxville, and that's on both sides of the ball. Linebackers, I honestly, secondary hasn't shown me anything, and this is a veteran secondary. Defensive line hasn't shown me anything. This is a veteran line. So we'll see. It's 4 games in, though, and the good thing is it's there's a long way to go. It's not going to be an easy long way to go, though, because a lot of people circled Arkansas's win. Arkansas is looking pretty tough this year. Sam Pittman's done a hell of a job down at Arkansas, and we'll see. But I'd like to see some creativity going forward out of our offense, and this week's going to be what it is. And I do hope that not if, but I think when Garantano takes the field, I hope fans don't boo him. It's not his fault that he keeps getting sent out there. That's on Jeremy Pruitt for continuing to send him out there. He's not going to turn down his opportunity to go out there and play. Can't blame the guy for he's not going to say no. Somebody else needs no. If we're going to put him in, he's going to go. But who knows? Maybe he has a good week or whatever. But we know what we've got with Jarrett Garantano at this point, and hopefully this at some point we can quit talking about this and we can move forward, because I don't think it's. And God bless the guy, man. He's put up a lot of crap down there, and he's just not been very good. He's had his moments, and I would have loved nothing more than to have seen him had a good senior year and to go out on a high note. I just don't think it's going to happen. And who knows? Maybe it's something like last year, but if they turn it over to Harrison Bailey or even Brian Maurer for that matter, if he's sticking around, you got to give him some leash. Let them make mistakes. They're not going to learn from their mistakes if they make a mistake and you put them right back on the bench. But, sorry to devote so much time to it, but that's the hot topic this week. And I'm not going to address the rest of the offense, because we've seen down there what a change in quarterback can do for an offense. We've seen it with Josh Dobbs. We've saw it even further back with Tyler Bray. Just different quarterbacks along the way. We'll see if that's the case now. But, Bailey had some nice moments yesterday, and you just got to grow his confidence. He's going to take his licks. It's a 10-game SEC schedule. I would rather my true freshman be taking these same lumps, growing, learning from them, than my fifth-year senior. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully we'll be respectful next week. I don't know. I think one thing that'll save it, though, is if you're seeing the same thing, that change. And I'd stated on here a couple of weeks, we're not going to see Harrison Bailey. It's time to see Harrison Bailey. So I will happily backtrack on my statements. It's time. And we can't get that era started soon enough. But thanks again for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you tune in Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Talkin' Vols. You guys have a good one. Take care, and I'll see you next week.